in the unit. I go in the unit and people looking at the TV like this here. I come back in the unit, they still looking up at the TV.
Zombies.
Until it's time to lock down, they looking up at the TV. So I'm like, I done ran into dudes that did 15, 20 years, and on their way home, they'll get tattoos done. And they ain't never got the GED. And I was like, damn, man, you done been 15 years, 4, 5 joints, you ain't got a GED? No, man, I don't need that shit. They ain't need no GED. You know, such and such, they have a GED. This person, they have a GED. But look, you done got a face full of tattoos and you ain't got a GED? Yeah, I said, well, okay, well, don't worry about what they ain't got. You ain't going to have it either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like prison.
I came in with my face tatted on. I ain't get these.
Yeah, but still, you know what I mean, you doing things. But a lot of people are having hard times because they made bad choices. And when you put yourself in a situation like that and you're doing a lot of time and you can't come out with nothing that's going to help you when you get out because you didn't plan. They say those who plan fail to plan.
Plan to fail.
That's what it is. So my thing is, I planned the whole time. I didn't know I was going to do 25 years and some change. I thought I was going to get out much earlier than that, but I didn't. But my whole time, all I did was just study. So my thing about it, like I said, I studied Christianity. I studied Moore Science Temple. I studied Nation of Islam. I didn't become a part of the fact that as joining it. But my thing is I wanted to study it because I want to know why so many people had so many religions. They was trying to get away from Christianity. Well, and I see why. And I did the same thing only because I figured that I didn't like slavery and I didn't like nothing that had to do with it. And Christianity was a slave religion because we didn't come in contact with Jesus until we came in contact with slavery. Not saying that we wasn't Christians, because Ethiopians became Christians long before anybody did, because they knew they had to get along with the Western world, and they knew that they didn't have a chance of being anything other than Christians, that they would survive. So their survival was based on them being Christians. And like I said, they got their own Bibles. Nobody has a Bible for the original people except Ethiopians. And what I mean by original people, we are the original people of color. Learning that we are the melanated people, that we're the first people that ever existed on the planet, for the simple fact that even scientists know this, but they don't teach us this because they say, well, it will make a superiority complex. No, it won't. It will show people that we didn't just evolve from slavery. They didn't teach us 700 years before slavery that we was over in Spain teaching the Spaniards and other people how to bathe and how to make corrals and how not to do certain things so they wouldn't get sick or whatever. They taught us everything stemmed from when they brought us over here, and if that didn't happen, then we wouldn't have no education on anything. So all that was a lie, because if you go to other countries, they have black dignities and they have statues, and you say, well, these statues are older than slavery. What are they doing here? And they can explain that, well, they don't want y'all to know this, but yeah, we've been know this. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that everything was a lie, and Christopher Columbus, Christmas and everything else. So I stopped dealing with all that while I was in prison. Now, don't get me wrong, now that I'm out, I like being around my people, so I celebrate anything they want to celebrate as long as they're happy. But my thing is, I'm out of the matrix now. And being out of the matrix is a mindset. Once you learn everything and then you try to come back into society and try to fit back in, you can't, because now you're not going to look at it the same. So knowledge is powerful, and I got a lot of it, and I put everything in books. I also got a book I call American Dream Maker, and it deal with everything that I learned from several different books. You know what I'm saying? Everything I got out of book, but I also did my research on it to make sure I'm not giving out no miscellaneous information that's not going to be helpful to anybody that look at these books. I got a book, Religious Liberation, and I speak on the journey that I'm speaking on now. My journey through the federal system and everything that I learned passing through the system, and I tried to pass off, because I didn't just take this information and keep it. I taught classes here, I taught classes in there. I taught NFPT. I was a professional fitness trainer since 2008. And I still got all the certifications, and I took it from the street and made recreation put me in the class.
Boy, just to hint on the professional fitness trainer.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I pursued that.
Yeah.
Dropped out. He a bad man.
He had a celly. I was 40 years old when he met me. He had a celly. And we went inside the washroom and did burpees an hour and a half. I done put on 17 pounds just writing books. But I'm just saying, I was 40 years old, and I had just come off a cane, so they thought I was a cripple or something. And when I got there, now I ain't gonna say whiskey was a bad boy too. We was soaking wet. Yeah. We'll come in shoes, socks, everything, soaking wet. We worked out for hours.
Atlanta Cash bad too.
Yeah,
Cash used to do 300 burpees a set.
But see, I was doing 300 burpees, 300 jumping jacks, 300 squats before I came home in 2023.
And they go ride the bike. Hold on. They go ride the bike for 4 hours.
I had a spin class that we'll spend 2 hours straight non-stop and make
What?
sure nobody sit down. We'll take the seats off and put them on the side, and the room be soaking wet, floor and everything. So I just work out like, dude say, Black Boss, you gonna kill somebody, they gonna lock your ass up. I say, shit, I'm already there. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it was. Because I had, like now I can ride, I can get in the car, just ride all over the country. Because I have a lot of shit on my mind, excuse me, you know, well shit, we cuss everything. We smoking weed and drinking, you know, goddamn excuse me. But anyway,
Not for
listen.
the children.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, I mean, it was an adventure for me, and it was hard because, like I said, I did 25, and when I came home, my mom was gone, my grandma was gone, my granddaddy was gone, a lot of people that you know what I'm saying I grew up with was gone. So I stay in Atlanta. I got my own LLC, Accused Federal Guide to Justice LLC. I done got like 20, 30 people out on clemencies. I got cases in the 4th Circuit, 11th Circuit, pro se that I done for people, landmark cases. I get in contact with the people, and I mean, they'll tell you, yeah, this who done it, the Black Box. And they say, yeah, well, I done run into people, and they say, damn, man, that's who you be, the Black Box. That's Tone, or that's Black, or that's Rick. And I say, yeah, well, after so many years, that's why I evolved. I evolved into the Black Box because, like I said, I had the knowledge, so I'm putting it out there. And
He
I'm still
got me
doing
off child support
Nah, what?
back in
Real?
2000.
No.
Back in 2011
I do
before
it.
I left Williamsburg. Hell yeah.
You didn't tell that.
Hell yeah, boss got me off
I
child
done
support.
did a lot of things. I mean, I done so much shit, I forget myself. My thing is, I try to learn anything I can learn. And like I say that, I'm not hard on anybody about their religion. It's just that I don't deal with religion. I'm Rasters read from the Bible, but a lot of them don't because we figure out we don't have a Bible. And back to that story again, and I was telling, somebody called me like 3 weeks ago, and they read my book, and they were saying that where you get all this information from. I said it's in the book. It's in the back of the book. I studied Barry Shango. I studied John Henry Clark. I studied Dr. Benjo Cunning. These people, they wouldn't let them into colleges and schools and stuff like that, so they made tapes. They had to get together with small congregation of people and teach them the things they know because back 30, 40 years ago, they would not let these people in any kind of high school, college, or nothing because they would stop getting funded. They would call this information radical information, a misinformation, and it was the truth. Because these people did everything they could to learn outside of a system that wasn't built for them and built by people who didn't design to make sure they had the information they need to carry themselves in the way that they should. So we got to follow them for everything for the simple fact that we only know what they teach us. If they didn't teach us anything, then we don't know nothing. They opened up the Bible and gave us that, so we still got the Bible. But if they gave us something other than that, we'll have that. So my thing is, you got to go back when you have time and research everything you ever learned in school, and you wouldn't believe that 99% of that shit that you learned in school is a lie. Yeah. The only thing that's not a lie because it don't have an interpretation is math. Math's gonna always come out the same. But if anybody tell you anything else, and especially it's not somebody that look like you, it's a lie for the simple fact that I had to find that out. But I didn't know, like I say, after the Council of Nicaea and the stuff I read about how Constantine and how they took the Jehovah story and gave it to Jesus, and how Jesus was put in front of us after all this time that we didn't never know about a Jesus. And then now all of a sudden, we praise Jesus more than them. We got the best music for Jesus and everything else because it's something to cling on to. But I don't need it because now I got other things to cling on to that I done learned that predated Jesus. If I wanted to go to Yahshua or Ra or Amen or all the dignitaries we had before Jesus came in, I can just pray to them. But the simple fact that I know everything was made up and everything have a character that they deal with the simple fact that you cannot find Neanderthal more than 10,000 years old. But they got a little girl, they found Lucy. What I mean, little girl, she was 3,000 years, 3 million years old. And they found somebody 30 million years older than her. So to think about it, it's no way you're going to tell me if your scientist is putting this stuff out, but you saying the pyramids was built by aliens, and you know damn well there wasn't no aliens nowhere around and commit. So now you got National Geographic giving out bad information to everybody. So you keeping us off our own path of knowledge for the simple fact you giving out misinformation. And then you rather give it to an alien than give it to a human being to show us that this is how disrespectful you would be than give us credit for anything that belongs to us.